And while a longer growing season may benefit farms up north, here in the south, a longer growing season also typically means a hotter growing season. Yet, even though many farmers acknowledge recent weather has changed for the worse, most farmers still don't believe humans are necessarily its cause. So it did come as a bit of a surprise when here in the reddest state in America, a sixth-generation farmer from Loyal, Oklahoma, penned a plea to the President of the United States to do more about climate change.
Mr. President, I know there's a lot you're going to be covering in your State of the Union address
Meet
this
Clay
year,
Pope,
but I want to make sure you don't overlook climate change and its effect on agriculture.
an internet sensation and a bit of an outlier in agricultural circles, when he published a video to YouTube asking President Obama to not overlook climate change and the possible ramifications it could have on our nation's breadbasket.
According to the report, increases in atmospheric carbon dioxide, rising temperatures, and changing rainfall patterns will affect productivity in the coming decades. The droughts and downpours will be more common and more destructive, and in the future, we may not be able to grow many crops where we grow them today. The report says it's imperative that we act now to prepare for this if we're going to continue feeding ourselves and the world.
I caught up with the one-time state lawmaker and now executive director of the Oklahoma Association of Conservation Districts at our state capitol.
The bottom line is this is an issue that we need to talk about. And I think really and truly when you've got someone who does have the bully pulpit, someone who has the chance in their second term to say something about this and start a conversation on this issue, I felt like it was important that agriculture weigh in because we actually have a bigger role to play in this, and we realize the climate continues to change. It's going to negatively affect us more than any other industry.
According to Pope, his plea is as much to his fellow farmers as it is the president. Many in the agriculture community are reluctant to believe the growing scientific evidence that humans are altering our climate. And for many, it just comes down to money. From the tractors they drive to the oil-based chemicals and fertilizers they depend upon, increased regulations on fossil fuels will hit farmers especially hard.
We can't pick and choose the science we want. If science tells us that we've got a challenge, then we've got to recognize that, and we've also got to realize that sticking our head in the sand is not of a benefit to our industry. Now,
Pope is the first to tell you his plea did not sit well with some of his friends and neighbors. Yet he still believes global warming is an issue we need to stop cussing and start discussing. Now, we have a link to Pope's entire video, plus much more on climate change on our website. There, I have my conversation with global warming's chief congressional critic, Oklahoma's senior senator, Jim Inhofe. I visit with some scientists at the National Weather Center about the prospects of more sweltering summers. I examine how our attitudes towards climate change differ here in the United States than they do in Europe. And we visit with a researcher who has looked at how the debate over global warming has even made it all the way into our children's books. Just head to okhorizon.com and click on any of these stories under our value-added section.